Brother Captain Arcturusk, the living tank, weathers a storm of blows from the Lich Guard, Acererak and a Wraith. Is holding his own. He will not give ground. That is the Imperial Fists way.
He dies for the first time this crusade.
He is taken down.
Yeah, in the unhallowed tissue box.
So the Necrons have secured this site. They have enacted their recon sweep, and they will be able to pry the secrets of the obelisk from it. And this should reveal the way below ground to the vault. After driving off the Space Marines, Acerek's first instinct is to pursue the wounded and eradicate them completely. All humans must be purged from this planet if it is to stay under Necron control. However, Plasma's Irazar reminds him of their original purpose on this planet, to plunder the vault and take its spoils for the greater glory of the dynasty. Reluctantly, Acerak backs down. The next few days are spent studying the obelisk, examining and decoding the glyphs and sigils that appear on its surface. This system was built to not only keep the lesser races out, but also other Necrons, and the cryptex worked tirelessly to decode the security algorithms. Finally, when the last glyph is decoded, there is a bright flash of light, and the way to the vault is revealed. As the gate activates, inscribed upon the portal are the words Vault Alpha. Overlord Acerak does not hesitate as he steps through the portal into the darkness. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Sai and this is Chris, and we are back on Crusade. We are back on the planet of Achillon, and we have descended into the Necron Vault. So in the last game, the Necrons found the Imperial dig site where they had unearthed the mysterious obelisk, and after driving off the Space Marines who sought to contest the site, they spent days analysing it and deciphering the security protocols, and eventually the obelisk reconfigured itself into a portal which led down here into the vault. Now the words on the portal designate this as Vault Alpha, and within it is a large containment device. This thing here in the middle, it contains a being of vast power, something that the Necrons quickly realize is a Catan shard. And what is holding it here are these 4 power generators surrounding the containment device. This whole vault is essentially a prison for the Catan. The Necrons have descended below ground and are looking to release this Catan shard and shackle it for their own ends. So what they need to do is slowly release the power from these 4 power generators and bring the Catan under their control. But seeing as they've spent a few days getting into this place, the Space Marines have had time to muster. They've fallen back. They've licked their wounds. Captain Arcturusk has been had undergone major surgery after his kicking in the last game, and they are back for a all or nothing, deny the Necrons their objective. So that's the premise of the mission. I'll go through the specifics in a second, but let's check out these armies first. So today we were going to play a 750 point battle again, but seeing as this mission is kind of an important one in the overall story, we thought we'd kick it out to 1,000. So yeah, we both have 1,000 points of our respective armies here. So this is the Infinite Silence, led as ever by Overlord Acerak the Undying, enlightened monarch of the void, resplendent master of the cosmic fires, and the Grand Sunderer. Another title picked up in the last game. So, because he's got 3 titles now, this gives him a little perk that allows him, well, I had a choice, and I chose the one that allows him to do a battle tactic stratagem for 0 CP. So he's got that. He's got his hyperphase glaive and tachyon arrow. His hyperphase glaive is now an artificer weapon, so it does mortal wounds on 6s. And he has the enduring will warlord trait and the nano scarab casket relic. So -1 damage and repairs an additional wound with living metal every turn. Whew. Right, so that's him. Behind him we have his honor guard, the Apexis Guard. They are coming once again because they were so good last battle, and yeah, I really like the Lich Guard, so they are coming along again. No upgrades for them as yet, but hopefully level up this game. Returning after a little bit of a hiatus is Plasmancer Irazar. So he suffered battle scar in one of the earlier battles, giving him a loss of reputation, so he cannot benefit from or give out auras. But you know, he's just going to sit and do his own thing this battle, dish out some mortal wounds, point that plasmic lance in the direction of the dangerous looking things in Chris's army. Scarabs, they do what they do. And we have the Sentinels, which are my unit of Wraiths that did exceptionally well last battle, managed to level up, and they got the Veterans Battle Honor, I think, lets them reroll 1s to hit. So yeah, that'll be nice to get them stuck into the Space Marines and start chopping again. And for our main body, we have Phalanx 001 Reaper Squad. So I paid the requisition points last game to bump this to a 20-man squad. So this should hopefully give me some staying power in the fight. I'm hoping Chris can't get rid of 20 at once, but you know, I don't want to throw that challenge down for him just in case he manages it. In front we have Reaver Squad, which is my Scorpec destroyers, famous for looking threatening and mostly getting melted by turn 2. Hopefully they can get stuck in this game. It'd be really nice to get them some experience points and level up, but yeah, we'll see how they do. And I noticed there's no ATV this game, so you know, they might have a chance. Next to them is Technomancer Naris. He has the Relic Voltaic Staff and also has the perk Energy Savant, which allows him once per battle to shoot twice. So that's him, and returning once again is the Axiom of Annihilation, my Doomsday Arc. This went down to heavy aggressive fire in one of the previous battles. So maybe I'm going to try and keep it towards the back this game. So this has upgraded one upgraded flare array. So one side of this shoots at strength 5 and the other side still shoots at strength 4. And obviously it has the big gun of doom. So yes, there's my force, and I'm going to go over to Chris and see what he's bought this time. So the Imperial Fists have travelled through the portal. They have cut down the Guardians on the top side and forced their way into the Necron vault. So, Chris, what have we got here today?
Well, starting left from right.
Left to right.
We've got Lieutenant Navo Morarnius leveling his Volkite pistol. That's your entire crew here. He's feeling a bit salty after the last battle.
Yeah, it's really looking to take some names this time.
So he's her Primarius Lieutenant, and beside him we've got the ever faithful. I'm trying to come up with a long-winded title on the spot. Can't do it. This is Captain Arcturusk. So he's been through some tough battles.
He's master of the keep.
Master of the keep.
Yes.
He's
Defender of the Imperium and all-round tank.
As grizzled as you can possibly be as a warrior of the Imperium. Directly beside him, returning for their second battle.
So these, just to go back, these guys have relics or anything? This guy has a teleport thing, right?
Oh yeah. Let me grab my sheets. So, Lieutenant Navo Mararnius, yes, he's got a fair amount of experience. Before the last battle, I did give him some upgrades that we didn't really see come into play because of the nature of the deployment of the last battle. But he has got the Warlord's trait Imperium Sword, as well as a special relic, the Astartes Teleportation Transponder. So he can start battle off-field and then kind of plop in and hopefully get a good charge and swing his sword around and just be a pain in the ass if I don't want to keep him around for the wound reroll. So yeah, he kind of has a two-purpose. Unfortunately, those purposes can't really be used together for the most part. Spruce Arcturusk's loaded. He's got all sorts of crap. The Armor Indomitus as a relic. He has the Iron Resolve Warlord trait. He's achieved extra wounds and heroic constitution and the Master of the Keep Battle Honor. So yeah, he's pretty fully rounded guy right now.
He is tooled up.
He is at one more wound and he wouldn't be able to take lookout sirs.
Yeah, he would become a
presence would be too much on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here in this kind of climactic battle, whether he'll lead his brothers to victory or if he'll make a glorious sacrifice to ensure the Imperium has another hour of salvation against the growing Necron threat. Directly beside Spruce Arcturusk, returning for the second battle, is the Golden Huskarls Company, a Blade Guard veteran. So they proved to be pretty useful, definitely tanky, and might be able to help kind of protect.
Yeah, these guys were instrumental in the mission where I was trying to kill your warlord, if I recall.
Yeah, they're
did a number on the Scorpec destroyers.
Shields give them an extra little bit of saving grace, and they have the Iron Halo and Vulnerable save, which is almost very, very helpful, of course, against that disgusting heavy alien weaponry and Gauss, Doomsday.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
All the good stuff. Behind them, returning, I think, for their third battle now, and I love feeling them just because I love the look of them. Big, chunky boys, the Unyielding Fists of Vengeance. So this is my Aggressors squad. They've been upgraded with a battle trait, a weapon upgrade, so that the Sergeant has a +1 to hit. And thanks to the dual nature of their weapon, applies to both, and an additional further AP on his attacks. They did get a battle scar in the last round, which is shell-shocked, meaning that they're suffering a -1 leadership and a -1 combat attrition.
Right, yeah, so might come into play because usually leadership isn't a really concern with small squads, but now that it's dropped by 1, maybe I can get another one for morale. We'll see. I don't know, these guys are hard to take down.
They do have nerves of steel, but also they've seen some pretty horrifying stuff through their career, and
yeah, they got a lot of heavy firepower in the last mission.
The brain can only bear so much aberration before it conforms. Directly behind them is the 10-man unit of Primaris Intercessors, armed with the auto bolt rifles, the Terran Forge, led by Sergeant Garamus. While he does hold his Power Fist defiantly in the air, he's not actually equipped with a Power Fist.
We still haven't upgraded them.
Yeah, I'm just too cheap to spend the RP to make that happen for him. These guys, despite having some experience wiped from them, have still retained their veteran warriors, which gives them a reroll 1 on the hit roll. So if they lose command kind of with the captain, then they will keep that.
Yeah, it makes them really good at operating independently.
And then lastly, because
we got
it feels wrong not to include them, as the Melta brothers. They're wielding their Melta rifles. They were upgraded from gaining a level in the last battle, so we rolled for that before the camera started rolling. They were given Fleet of Foot, giving them a +1 to move and a +1 to advance and charges, which would be definitely very helpful, considering that they're wielding assault weapons as it is. So first round, maybe get a touch closer, but then we wouldn't be able to take advantage of that kind of shoot twice. So
yeah,
definitely give them a good boost that will surely help out
Maybe they felt guilty about turning up late to the last battle, so they've been putting in the time on the treadmill.
Could be.
For,
Could be
now going to be
in the joints.
The most mobile eradicators that you've ever seen.
And then making its first appearance is the Gladiator Reaper. So she doesn't have a name quite yet. I was playing around with some things, so that might kind of come a little bit later. Gladiator Reaper is armed with the Reaper autocannon and some extra kind of bolters on the side, storm bolters, I think that they are. So a lot of extra firepower coming from this, so we'll see if that's going to be helpful in either chipping down the Doomsday Arc or that unit of warriors, or I mean, really anything, everything that I look at from the Necrons. Makes me try and shoot it off the board, and
I'm quite scared. I mean, I haven't had a look at the stat sheet for this yet, but it looks like it can put out a high volume of shots, which is going to be very good against my Necron warriors. And just with the volume, like you say, it might actually chip some wounds off some tougher targets. So definitely a bit scared of this, but it's it's an awesome model, man. This is like really well painted. It's you can see on the camera here, got some authentic battle damage, and it just looks badass. So we can have maybe a bit of a tank battle going on this game.
What's 40k all about?
Yeah, exactly. So those are the forces of the Imperial Fists, and we'll go on to explain a bit about the mission and do deployment. So the mission we're going to play today is going to be a custom narrative mission. It's loosely based on the 4 pillars because, for obvious reasons. So the deployment and the objectives, we're using the 4 pillar setup here. But this is a match play mission, so we're going to do custom rules for it. So 1 point at the end of your turn for controlling a pillar. Also, you can do an action in your turn that starts at the end of the movement phase, completes at the end of your turn, to either stabilize or destabilize these power generators. What the Necrons are trying to do is slowly release this Catan with a gradual release of power so they can bring it under their control. But the Marines are trying to destabilize these power sources and cause a destructive chain reaction as the Catan breaks loose from its shackles, and they're aiming to bring this whole facility down via the sort of uncontrolled release of power. So Necrons looking to stabilize the power, Space Marines looking to destabilize the power. It amounts to the same thing. It works similar to the Raise the Banner secondary. So once you do the action, we'll put a little token on there, and in your following command phase, you will score an additional point for having either stabilized or destabilized that particular power generator. Unlike banners, this is going to increase in points as the game goes on. So if you control the power generator for 2 turns, that will get you 2 points in your command phase. If you control it for 3 continuous turns, it will get you 3 points in your following command phase, etc., etc. So we've got 1 point each for controlling the objectives at the end of your turn, but the real point swing is going to come from controlling these power generators for multiple turns. So that's the way the point scoring is going to work. Mission rewards. Because this is quite an important mission, if I am successful, I will get to add this Catan to my forces for free, and a increase in supply to go with that. So quite a hefty reward, but if Chris wins, he will get to add the equivalent amount of power to his roster as well. I think a Transcendent Catan is 14 power. So yes, that's a pretty big reward for succeeding or at this mission for either the Necrons or the Space Marines. So we'll set up some deployment and we'll see where the armies end up. And we are deployed. The 2 forces of the Necrons and the Imperial Fists square up to each other across this containment device, holding a captive Catan. So the Marines have come through the portal, they've fanned out, taken cover in these naturally occurring crystals here. The tank has deployed, lined up its shots across the way, and the Doomsday Arc has returned in kind. So it'll be I foresee a heavy alpha strike for whoever gets first turn here. So a couple of things to mention. This central feature did consider making it obscuring, but I think that would block off too much of lines of sight, so we're just playing it as is. These sort of veins on the side are going to block physical line of sight, but you can shoot through it with no penalty. The other thing is, as the power is siphoned from these power generators, the Catan is going to gradually break free from its restraints. So from turn 3 onwards, it is going to cast a random Catan power at a random target as its shackles begin to loose. So that's going to be a bit of a random thing to account for later in the game. It's a custom narrative mission, so why not? Let's make it interesting. So the Catan is going to enter play from turn 3 onwards. Only thing left to do is to see who gets the first turn. So, you got your dice ready, Chris? This is, could spell.
I never do that great on this roll, so let's see how we do.
It's 5. Oh, it's a 6 for the Necrons.
Yeah, not that much of a surprise.
Necrons' first turn. They are prepared and waiting as the Imperial Fists translocate down through the portal. So Necron's turn 1, and this is the end of the movement phase. So the Necrons have seen the Space Marines coming, and they are quick out of the gate to meet these intruders who have trespassed into their domain. So the Necron warriors have moved an incredible amount. So at the start of this round, we activated our command protocols. First one was Protocol of the Sudden Storm for +1 movement. So being next to Overlord Asarak, they were already moving 7 inches, and then we rolled a big 6 for the advance. So they got to move 13 inches this turn, which is an incredible turn of speed for what are essentially shambling zombies. So we have swept around this direction towards Objective 1. Unfortunately, we're just slightly out of 3 inches, so we can't claim it this turn. But this does set us up nicely for the future. So we'll try and put some shots into either the Melter Brothers or the Blade Guard. And if they get shot back, hopefully Technomancer Onaris can bring a few of them back. The Scorpec Destroyers did not get a very good advance roll, so they came out from hiding behind this obelisk. And they're just basically following the warriors. It's usually much faster than, but in this case they are forced to trail in their wake. Plasmancer Irazar here also following along. Should be able to get some shots through the middle at the tank. And back here, the Scourge stayed put. They're probably just going to be holding this objective for me for most of the game. And the Lich Guard have moved forward in perfect lockstep. They're not doing anything else this turn, so I've used them to do the action on the power generator in order to stabilize it. So my token is now on the top there. So in my next command phase, this will get me an additional point. And if I keep hold of it, it will get me 2 points, 3 points, etc. So Lich Guard have moved to doing the action and not making any great advances, but just securing that home field objective. And the other unit are the Wraiths here. So they got their 12-inch moves +1 for Sudden Storm. So they have swept up, phased through the containment device here, straight through the wall, and have appeared like ghosts ready to pounce upon the aggressors. They're going to have to weather some Overwatch before they do so, but hopefully this will at least tie them up for the turn. And who knows, I might even kill a couple. So that's the plan. That is the movement phase done. So we're going to get on to shooting. So we're going to start off the shooting with the 4 Necron Warriors here that are within range of the Blade Guard. And we've got the Gauss Reapers, so they are 12-inch range. So very much a sort of up close and personal type weapon. So yeah, they are assault 2, so we can advance and fire them, albeit at -1, but this will cancel out with the +1 to hit from my will be done. So we're back to hitting on 3s, and we have 8 shots. So strength 5, so we're wounding on 3s, and that is 3 wounds through at -2 AP.
So they have a +1 to armor save of 3, so that's gonna
put them
4 up either.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them to a 4 up. You can reroll that one. And that's 2 5s and a 2. So 1 wound chipped off the blade guard there as the hail of Gauss fire comes streaming in, or the first hail of Gauss fire anyway. Following that, we are going to put Onaris's Voltaic staff into them as well, I think. Or do we want the... No, if he's in within range, I think I'm going to put them into the Eradicators, because they are certainly dangerous. So Onaris levels his Voltaic staff at the Eradicators and lets fly. He is advanced, so he's hitting on 4s this time around, but unmodified 6s will deal additional hits from the Tesla rule. So no 6s, and we got 2 misses there, so only 2 hits. It is strength 6 versus toughness 5 for Gravis, so 3s to wound. Only 1 wound at -2. So 5 up save.
No.
It's a 1, so that is 2 damage, but that is it from him. So should have technically done this at the end of the movement phase, but Plasmancer Irazar here has his Harbinger of Destruction ability, where he deals mortal wounds to the closest visible enemy unit within 24. So we measured up, and it is the tank that is going to be taking this. So he rolls 3 dice, and on a roll of a 4 up, that is a mortal wound. And that is 3 4-ups. So 3 mortal wounds go on the Gladiator Reaper tank. His staff is only range 18, so he's out of range for any shooting. But 3 wounds on the tank, I'm pretty happy with that. The Doomsday Ark powers up its weapon on high power mode and takes aim at the Eradicators lurking by the portal. These, I think, are the greatest threat to it going down, so we're going to try and remove hopefully 1 or 2 from that squad with the big gun of doom. The flare rays are out of range of anything this turn, so it's just the big gun, and it has D6 shots for 6. Big 6. This almost never happens with the Doomsday Ark. It is usually very swingy, but occasionally we come through. So it hits on 3s.
I will use Transhuman for this.
Yes, very wise. We're going to use Transhuman on the Eradicators over there. So I can only win them on 4s. So 3s to hit. Dropping 2 there. Right, so it's strength 10, but with Transhuman it is 4s to wound. So we get 2 wounds through at -5. So that is no save. One of them is on 1 wound already. So the first dice is just going to kill that guy, regardless of what I roll.
Let's roll anyway.
Let's roll anyway, see how much overkill. 4 damage, so yes, vaporized
Big
by
hit.
the Doomsday Cannon. And the second one, we roll a... Oh, it's another big 6.
Ooh.
So a second one is vaporized, but we've got 1 remaining.
Yeah, it was
Not a total wipe as I'd hoped, but still pretty happy to remove 2 big meltery threats on the board there. So that is all my shooting that I can do. So we are going to head over to the Wraiths over here, who are going to charge the aggressors. Do you fancy doing a bit of Overwatch? No? Okay, great. I'll just move on to the charge then.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Alright, so one CP being spent on Overwatch.
2 CP already. Haven't even gone a turn.
Yeah. Gotta spend money to make money. So we'll do the Overwatch first, actually, before we do the charge roll, because you might actually, with the hail of firepower coming out of those, you could conceivably remove the unit of wraiths before they even get to charge. So we might do this off camera, because it's going to be a whole bucket of dice. So the aggressors let fly with their Boltstorm gauntlets and Fragstorm grenade launchers, but it was a little too late. They did not notice the wraiths coming until they were out of the wall and on them, so only one wound chipped off a wraith here. So now they're going to make their charge. It looks like a short one, and with boxcars, double six, they definitely make it in. Rolling hots on this first turn, which yeah, good news for me. But so with that 6, they might even be able to come up behind the aggressors. We got options, is what I'm saying. So I'll make their charge move, and then we'll kick off the fight phase. So in the end, we didn't do anything fancy with the race. We just did a straight charge. So we're aiming to block the aggressors from moving forwards. So straight into their lines here. I forgot about heroic intervention. So Spruce Arcturusk has come to the aid of his brothers, piling in on the left there, getting to fight the wraiths. It does make him a valid target for my attacks, but I don't think I can bring him down, so I think we're just going to go all attacks into the aggressors. The wraiths have 4 attacks each. They are hitting on 4s, and because we are Novok, they'll get an extra AP because they charged. So 4s to hit. So 5 hits through on the aggressors. They are strength 6 versus toughness 5, I assume, for Gravis, but 3s to wound. We get 4 wounds through at -3. -2 usually, but -3 because we are Novok. So that is some 6-up saves to make.
6-up saves.
And they are 2 damage each.
Okay. Nope.
No 6s. So that is... so this will kill 1, and this will kill 1. Decent first turn. We've removed 2 Gravis each from each of these squads. So that is... big relief for me, because these guys are dangerous, but now they get to fight back, and we'll see if the wraith form invulnerable saves can save them from the reprisal. So it doesn't matter which order we do this in, because the wraiths have already fought. So we're leading off with Spruce. He has 6 attacks.
Needing 2s to
Hitting
hit.
on 2s, and we drop 1. Strength 5 versus toughness 5.
So only 2.
Only 2. Okay. So it's got AP a lot, I assume. So we need the Wraith 4-up and vulnerable saves here. We make 1 fail 1. Damage?
2.
2 damage, and 1 Wraith is on 2 wounds left, so that will destroy him. We're going to make reanimation protocol rolls for him, so we're needing 3 5-ups here to bring him back, which we fail. So 1 Wraith is torn down by the vengeance of Spruce Arcturusk. Now we go on to the aggressor.
He's hitting on 3s and rerolling once.
So yeah, so the sergeant has got +1 to hit for his battle honor, so that negates his unwieldy trait from his power fists there. So hitting on 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Lost 1 on a 2.
Oh, last one. Okay. So 4 hits go through. It is strength
8
versus toughness 5, so 3s to wound.
All but 1.
Pretty good. We are most definitely on to the... Or we're going to potentially spend a command point here to re-roll.
No.
No?
No.
All right.
I've wasted so many.
There was thinking going on there, but yeah, down to 4 command points already. So 3's pretty good though. We'll see. This is how many damage each?
2.
2. Okay, so this might potentially kill another wraith. So make 2 of our 4-up and vulnerable saves and fail 1. So that puts 1 wraith down to 1 wound remaining. So combat is joined on the very first turn with the wraiths slinking through the walls of the containment device to strike at the aggressors. 2 are torn down, 1 wraith torn down in return by the captain. But the fight is being brought to the Space Marines the moment they have arrived in this Necron vault. So as we move over to Space Marines turn 1, we'll see what they can do to gain ground and push back the Xenos menace. So we didn't film that, but this is what happened over here. Because of their battle scar, their shell-shocked battle scar is -1 leadership, putting down from leadership 8 to leadership 7. So he could fail morale on a roll of a 6. We didn't think it happened, but yeah, the Imperial Fist symbol spelling doom there, as the assault by the Wraiths is too much for the last aggressor, and he quits the field from morale. So actually kind of devastating first turn for the Necrons there. We've whittled down this squad of Gravis over here. We've totally removed this Gravis squad.
This is the theme of every game now. You get first turn, you annihilate a third of my units.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that is the first turn advantage of 40k. So yeah, we'll see what the Marines can do on the fight back in turn 1. Hey everyone, Sai doing the edit here. So for whatever reason, I have lost all the audio for the next set of videos, which is pretty much the entirety of Space Marine turn 1. Not really sure what happened, if it's just a corrupted file or wrong setting on the camera, but yeah, these clips are all in absolute silence, which is super annoying. So what I'm going to do is walk you through what has gone on in Space Marine turn 1. So we can see here that the Blade Guard have moved up from the portal towards the Necron warriors, along with the lone Eradicator following along behind. The Terran Forge, the Intercessor squad, have pushed out of the crystals and are levelling their auto bolt rifles at the Wraiths. They have their 4-up invulnerable save, but the volume of fire pouring out from that squad should be enough to take them down. There's a little bit of shuffling with the tank, and Spruce Arcturusk has fallen back, getting the lookout cover from the tank. And in the corner, Lieutenant Nevo Moranius has used his teleportation ability to drop in right onto Objective 3, keeping behind the pillar out of line of sight of the Necrons' big guns. So just quietly securing that and daring the Necrons to come and take it off him. So to finish off the movement phase here, Lieutenant Moranius has performed the action to destabilize that power generator. So wild surges of power are now leaking from that generator and causing the containment device to slowly lose its power to contain the piece of the god within. And on the home objective, the Space Marines play the stratagem Uncompromising Fire, which allows an Adeptus Astartes infantry unit to still shoot while performing an action without it failing. So 2 command points, but it allows Chris to both destabilize that home field objective and also unleash the entire squad of auto bolt guns on the Wraiths. And speaking of auto bolt rifles, here is Chris rolling a full bucket of dice as he unloads the entire squad on the Wraiths. And here is me failing a whole bunch of saves. So the Wraiths are wiped out, with the air in front of them being approximately 60% mass reactive shell, as no amount of phasing in and out of reality is going to let them dodge that. So the forward push by the Necrons has been pushed back, but only after taking out the squad of aggressors. So accomplished what I needed it to there, but the Space Marines are very much defending their quarter. So what Chris does next here is swivel the turret of his Gladiator Reaper towards the large squad of Necron warriors, spitting out all the shots from its twin heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. I think I've got the name right. And its side-mounted heavy bolters. I think they are, possibly storm bolters. I don't know. It's it's a lot of dice all going into my Necron warriors. So rolling some saves for Necron warriors, only saving 1. All the rest go down.
Death to the alien.
And some more saves for the second set of guns, and again only one save, cutting down more of the Necron warriors. So after the firestorm of lead rains in, we are left with 6 Necron warriors remaining. But with this large number of dead warriors, we should get a fair few back from reanimation. But as you can see here, that is a whole bunch of nothing. We've got a couple of re-rolls to do, re-rolling the ones. But after that, only one warrior picks himself back up again. So that is a humongous chunk of the squad just pared away by the unrelenting firepower of the Reaper Gladiator tank. So Gladiator Reaper already putting in a shift there for Chris, taking down a large chunk of my Necron warriors. And the Blade Guard are now in front, looking to charge in and finish off the rest of the squad. So this is going to be big if he can finish off the Necron warriors, because after all, if you wipe the squad, they don't get to reanimate. But if I can just hang on with just a couple there, then hopefully Technomancer Onaris can start bringing them back, and I can start to win out on the war of attrition. So as the Blade Guard declare their charge, I spend a CP to do Overwatch with the remaining Gauss Reapers, and we get a fair few 6s. So this goes through and serves to bring down one of the Blade Guard before he even gets to charge. So we're down to 2 Blade Guard in the mix, and close combat with the Necron Warriors. However, odds are good that they should be able to bring a few of the Warriors down, but whether they can finish off the squad will remain to be seen. So 4 Necron Warriors go down, but even with reanimation, they stay down. Bodies dismembered by the Blade Guard's power swords. But that still leaves me with a scant handful of warriors from which to reanimate. No Resurrection Orb here, but Technomancer Onaris can bring back D3 per turn. So even though we only managed to reanimate 1 out of all that destruction that was visited upon the squad, with the reanimation you remove the models and then replace them on the table. So I've managed to replace that reanimating one closer to the objective, so that means we are now on that, ready to score it next turn. So there is a little bit of fighting back here with the warriors. So with that huge chunk taken out of the warriors, I've had to spend the 2 command points for Insane Bravery, because there's a very high chance they'll fail morale and I'll lose the last little bit of my squad. So paying those 2 command points I think is going to be worth it, just so I can bring back that squad, and hopefully they can last another turn with the Blade Guard there, and they can be my squad securing objective 1. So that is the end of Space Marines turn 1. Again, sorry guys, that has to be me narrating this after the fact. But all the rest of the clips have the audio intact, so we can go back to the Simon that is actually there playing the game. If that makes sense. Necrons, turn 2. Necrons, turn 2, movement phase. And we have pushed out with the Lich Guard, moving 6 towards the lone lieutenant behind the pillar here. So this is going to be a 10-inch charge if we want to get in. So maybe not this turn, but next turn we are going to start making our play for objective 3. My Will Be Done has gone on the Lich Guard because they were the only units within range. And also in the command phase, Technomancer Onaris brought back 2 warriors with rights of reanimation. And you'll notice they have tactically moved here behind the power generator in its shadow to shield them from the firestorm of the tank. So they fell back out of combat and so can't do anything else. Onaris here was not in combat, so he has just moved. However, he's going to forego his shooting in order to perform the stabilization action on the power generator. So losing the Voltaic Star for a turn, it's going to hurt, but we need to get these generators stabilized if we want to get this Catan out in some kind of controlled manner. The Scorpex have scuttled forward and are looking to make an extremely short charge into the Blade Guard. So these warriors are going to clash and we'll see if their shield can withstand the flurry of blows from the hyperphase threshers. Irazar here, just floating along, trailing in their wake, ready to unleash his devastating abilities, and might actually be in range to shoot this turn as well. So going to get on to the end of the movement phase. We're going to do Irazar's Harbinger of Destruction abilities, because that comes first for all of the shooting. Nearest enemy unit within 24, which is the Blade Guard, and on 4+, they will take mortal wounds. That is just one mortal wound on them this turn, as coruscating energy lashes out from the Plasmancer. They're 3 wounds each, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they should be on 2. And we're going to shoot, and I think we're going to put his Plasmic Lance into the Melter Brother there, because I'm hoping the Scorpex can take care of the Blade Guard. Fingers crossed. So, Plasmic Lance has D3 shots for 1. He hits on a 3. He hits. It's strength 7 versus toughness 5, so 3's to wound. No wounds. Yeah, we'll have to let that one go. Other shooting. This tank has to go. Is doing an absolute number on my infantry. So the Doomsday Arc is going to put its Doomsday Cannon into the opposing tank on the other side of the field, and we got D6 shots for 1. There it is. There's the Doomsday Arc swinging us. And we're going to go for 3s to hit. We miss. Okay, I am going to command point reroll this, because this could be good. 3s to hit. It hits. Strength 10, toughness less than 10. So 3s to wound. It's a wound. It's -5. That's straight through the armor, I assume.
Can't save that.
Nope. So it is D6 damage, and I've already used my command point reroll for this. It's 4. That's decent.
Not bad.
I'll take that. 4 damage as a beam of bright red light bisects the battlefield and cores straight through the side of the tank, taking out a few vital systems, but it is still going on. How many wounds left?
5.
5 wounds left. Okay, so we've probably bumped it down to its next bracket at least, which will hopefully cut down its effectiveness. And that is going to be it for the shooting, I think. So, yeah, fairly short and sweet, but now we get on to the important charges. Okay, we're going to start with the Lich Guard over here. They need to get around this power generator into the Lieutenant, and they are going to need a 10, or actually a 9, because we are Novok and we get +1 to charge. Or it's a 6 and a 2, so 8, 1 shy of what they need. Kind of a low chance to get that on the command reroll, and we'll do the Scorpex over here with a 6, so that is easy enough to get in. So we'll start off the fight phase as the Scorpex crash against the perhaps immovable object of the Blade Guard. So the Scorpex destroyers get 3 attacks each, and the 2 with the hyperphase threshers get an additional attack for their dual wielding weapons. So we'll start off with the threshers, I think, because these are 2 damage each, and we've got a Blade Guard on 2 wounds left there, so this could work out nicely. So the Scorpex are 3s to hit, rerolling 1s because they are hardwired for destruction, and everything hits. This is a good start so far. So threshers are usually strength 5, but we are up to strength 6 because we are in protocol of the Hungry Void, which I think I mentioned. If I didn't, that's my protocol for this round, protocol Hungry Void. Get both directives because we are Novok. So wounding on 3s. 5 wounds through. So these are ordinarily -3, but they're -4, and then the 6 is -5 because so 4 up and vulnerable saves.
4 up and vulnerable saves.
5. 4.
Let's go, Golden Husk girls. Let's see some 4s. Well, 3.
Not bad. 3. But we dropped 2, and that is 2 damage each, so that will kill the one on 2 wounds, and put the remaining guy down to 1 wound left.
Still fighting.
Still going. But we do have the 2-hander, the Hyperphase Reap Blade here, He has 3 attacks, he hits on 3s, and he re-rolls 1s. So that is 2 hits so far, re-rolling those 1s for hardwired for destruction, 3 hits. And this would ordinarily be strength 7, but because we are in the Hungry Void, we are up to strength 8, so we are winning on 2s now. And that is lucky, because that would have been a big old fail if it wasn't for that extra strength. So we drop 1, but we get 2 through at minus a lot. So it's
4 up saves.
4 up saves.
Nah.
Both fail.
1
Okay,
and 2.
so the last blade guard is cleaved in 2 by the ginormous hyperphase reap blade, and the Scorpex gets their first kill. I think we forgot to mention actually our agendas for this battle. We've both chosen Reaper and Survivor. So Reaper gets additional experience of the unit with the highest combat tally, and Survivor is bonus experience if you survive, basically. So Chris has chosen Spruce again, as always, because he's a tank. And for my Survivor, I've chosen the Lich Guard because they're reasonably tanky, and hopefully we can get them up to blooded rank. That is the end of the fight phase. The Scorpex are going to do a little consolidate, I think, and then we are back to the Space Marines' turn. They are another unit down, but if they can do some more devastating shooting like last turn, this could balance the scales once more. Imperial Fists, turn 2, and we are at the end of the movement phase. So the Terran Forge have broke out of their from their home objective and are looking to support Lieutenant Neva Maranius here over on objective 3. They've advanced forward over the barricades and are now looking to be within range to get those reroll wound rolls of 1. The battle trait lets them reroll hit rolls of 1 natively, so yeah, they have all the rerolls and they're looking to pump a load of firepower into the Lich Guard. We know from the last game how deadly they can be in combat, so reducing their numbers is certainly going to help the Imperial Fists. Not too much movement on the home front. The tank has stayed largely stationary, holding down objective 2, and is probably going to put, well, I don't know where its firepower is going, probably into the Scorpex, but we'll see. The lone Melter Brother has retreated slightly, but he is definitely looking to shoot some Melter Death into the Scorpex in retribution for the Blade Guard. Spruce Arcturusk there, holding it all down, just giving out those rerolls to the Melter Brother. So that is it for movement. Chris scores 2 points in his command phase for destabilizing these 2 power generators, and is going to score another 2 points at the end of his turn if he holds them. So where are we starting with the shooting?
We're start with the Terran Forge.
Terran Forge, all the auto bolt rifles into the Lich Guard.
Queuing up a ton of shots here.
And we're in Tactical Doctrine now, so these will be at AP -1. Chris is just assembling his horde of dice. Yep, so the Terran Forge advance, so they are hitting on 4s now, but re-rolling 1s.
Looking for some fresh 6s.
We're strength 4 into toughness 5, so we're going to need to get 5 to wound here.
5s to wound.
No, 2 6s, so yeah, okay. So only 4 wounds through from that deluge of fire, and it's -1, so Lich Guards go from 2 up to 3 up. And we actually dropped 2, so 1 Lich Guard goes down, and that is it for the shooting. So we can now roll reanimation for him. I need 2 5s to bring him back. 6 and a 1, not good enough. So 1 Lich Guard crumples to the floor. What else we got?
Spruce is going to slam his shield into the ground and Master of the Keep for rapid fire stratagem. So these guys are going to do that all over again.
Oh, nice. Okay, so using his Master of the Keep ability to get rapid fire for free. So these are going to shoot at the end of the phase. The last remaining member of the Eradicators levels his Melter Rifle at the Scorpex Destroyers.
Did I re-roll any of my wounds over here? I don't think I did.
You did not re-roll any of your wounds over there. I completely forgot about it as well. We'll remember for rapid fire when that kicks off.
So first shot, looking for 3 or higher, re-rolling 1s, thankfully, because the captain doesn't matter.
Rolling a 1 into a 1.
So his second shot, he's going to unleash total obliteration. So he's going to hit that shot again.
Oh, it's
Again,
another one.
3 ones in a row.
Rerolling. What?
4 ones in a row.
That is... What?
Okay.
That is... I don't even know what the chances of that are, but that is absolutely terrible. He is clearly shaken, and he is on the back foot as he backs up, wildly firing his melter rifle to no avail.
The Reaper is going to take some shots. So he's got 4 to 6 wounds remaining. So he's ballistic skill 4 now, and his move is affected. So ballistic skill, move, and attacks for close combat have been affected. But
Yes, this is clearly a close combat unit here, so those degrading those attacks super important. Yeah, you've got 2 big melee threats on either flank here, so it's not an easy decision. So Spruce has made his decision. He orders the Gladiator Reaper tank to split its fire. So the Tempest bolters are going into the Scorpex here on the left, and the twin Onslaught Gatling Cannon turret swivels to take aim down at the Lich Guard right through the middle here. So splitting fire, hoping for doing decent damage to both as opposed to lots to one. So this is the bolters?
Bolters. So
bolters.
I need 4s.
Yep, 4s to hit now because it's degraded. 1 exploding 6.
4 on strength or toughness 5.
Toughness 5 on the Scorpex, so 5s to wound. A couple of 6s. 2. Okay, and
-2.
-1 now because we're out of Devastator, right?
It's that's a rapid fire weapon.
Oh, sorry, yeah, we're on the bolters, which are now getting boosted from tactical. So these are -2. They have a 3-up save that goes to 5 up. We make 1 and fail 1. So
Takes the damage.
1 bolter shell rips through the shoulder of one of the Scorpex, and but that is all the damage to them. So this one is down to 2 wounds.
I'm looking for 4s here. Strength 6 on toughness
5.
3s.
Strength 6 versus toughness 5, so 3s to wound. Looks okay, actually. Still have a hard time reading your dice, but
3.
get in there.
9.
9. Wow. Okay, this is at -1 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 2 up goes to a 3-up save on the Lich Guard, and we bring another one down. So making all the other saves. So we're going to roll reanimation for this guy. No, we need 2 5-ups there. We don't get either. So another Lich Guard falls, bringing the squad down to 3. We're going to do maybe a pistol shot here from the lieutenant, and then we have the rapid fire to go at the end of the phase as well. So might be potentially another couple of Lich Guard down here, and it'll just be Overlord Asarak wading into the fray on his own. The pistol shot cracks out from behind the power generator, and we get 2 hits there. So rolling to wound, and 2 wounds. Lich Guard just have their 2-up save from their dispersion shields. Wow,
Nice.
My God, 2-1. See, now of whatever you got on your rolls of your
The
quadruple dice. 1, it's obviously contagious because now I'm rolling
ones.
ones.
Passing around.
The pistol shot is dead on, and it takes a Lich Guard right in the head. He staggers, and does his living metal kick in enough to repair himself? No, so another one falls to a pistol shot. Now down to 2 Lich Guard remaining.
Rapid fire. Spruce shouts from across the battlefield, "Shoot him again, boys!" Because without his approval, they couldn't have done it.
Is he from the southern states?
Yeah.
As is the Imperial Fist way, we are going to just overwhelm them with bolt shells.
Let's do it. 15.
So 15 hits through, and now we are wounding on 5s and remembering to re-roll those ones for the lieutenant. That is pretty good. That is 9. There you go. 9 saves at 3-up for the Lich Guard. And that is the remaining 2. Now, I think I want to command point reroll one of these, because doing that is the difference between losing the squad and not getting reanimation, and getting to roll reanimation and keeping that guy there. So we're going to spend a command point to reroll one of these dice. We roll another 2, so the squad goes down anyway, and it cost me a command point. The Lich Guard are out of here, and it's another kill for the Terran Forge. So here is how it looks at the end of Imperial Fists turn 2. The Necrons have advanced, but have been pushed back by sheer weight of firepower, and the battlefield is divided pretty neatly into 2 halves, with the Imperial Fists controlling the right hand side of the pyramid there, and the Necrons controlling the left side. Both lost a decent amount of assets, so it's going to come down to what we can do with the remaining ones. Overlord Acerak is kind of exposed on this side. He's going to need some character protection or to make his charge in order to stay alive for this next turn. So we'll see what happens as we move on to Necron's turn 3. So as we mentioned earlier, from round 3 onwards, the Catan is going to start getting loose. The Space Marines have destabilized the 2 power generators on this side, and the Necrons are slowly draining power on this side. So we are releasing the Catan, and as the containment field flickers and powers down, it is able to exert its malevolent influence upon the battlefield. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to roll a d6, and we're going to do the corresponding Catan power. And if it's one where we pick targets, then we're just going to roll dice and assign those targets randomly. So yeah, destruction will be unleashed. And we're going to roll a d6 here. So we're going to do 4, which is Cosmic Fire.
Oh dear.
Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 9 inches of the Catan shard. So we'll have to measure up. We're going to measure from the ball in the center as if it was ground level, and we'll see how many units are within range. So as the Catan shard strains against its shackles, a wave of cosmic fire is unleashed from the center of the battlefield. And happily enough, everyone is outside of 9 inches. So we see this pyrotechnic display, this wave of supernatural, well, not supernatural, it's totally natural science-based fire washing out from the center of the battlefield, but everyone is outside of 9 inches, so everyone is safe for this round. So now that that's out of the way, I'm going to move on to my movement phase. Necron's turn 3 movement phase. Oh, forgot to mention command protocols. We are on the protocol of the Undying Legions this round. So we didn't have much living metal to heal, only just healed 1 wound on the Scorpex, so I'm choosing Directive 2, which is letting me re-roll 1 dice whenever I do reanimation. So for movement, the Scorpex have continued their rampage. They have, on their creepy 3-legged gait, they have moved up towards the portal, towards the Imperial Fist lines. We've got the Eradicator right in front of them, but we're hoping to take him out with some shooting. The Necron Warriors have repositioned to be behind the barricade here, more exposed than when they were hiding behind the generator, but that is going to give us some light cover, and hopefully that tank is not going to be here at the end of the turn. So if they can kill the Eradicator, then maybe the Scorpex can make that long charge into either Spruce or the Gladiator, and that will get them into the Imperial Fist home quarter, and so we can start contesting that power generator there. Scarabs holding down the home field, nothing exciting going on there. The Doomsday Arc has moved, so we're going to lose its high powered shots, so it's going to go back down to low power. I've just realised that I don't think I can get line of sight on the tank from here. I do have like the nose just poking out, but that's a bit gamey. So, so I guess all the shots from the Doomsday Arc are going to go into the Terran Forge. Not the most threatening of targets compared to the tank, but these guys are going to sit on objectives, and with that rapid fire stratagem, they've proved they can actually dish out a bit of damage if they want to. So all the flares are going into them, and I guess the low powered Doomsday cannon as well. So end of the movement phase, Plasmanta Irazar continues to float creepily along, and he unleashes his volatile energies and will deal mortal wounds to the closest visible on 4-ups. So that is a triple 1. So this round, his Harbinger of Destruction is a dud. So no shooting from Irazar, he is out of range, so we're just going to move on to the Doomsday Arc. Okay, so rolling the flare arrays first. One of these is upgraded, but Chris has spent 2 CP to do transhuman physiology, so it doesn't matter if they're strength 4 or strength 5, it's just going to be winning on 4s regardless. So to start with, hitting on 3s. Dropped a decent amount there, but not too bad. So now all important wound roll, wounding on 4s. So that is 7 through at -1. Chris is going to assign them to the 3 behind cover first. Whew. Okay, so we've taken down 1 with the flares. Not as good as I'd hoped, but we'll see what the Doomsday Cannon can do. It's low power, but we still get D6 shots. For 4, it hits on 3s. 3 hits, it is strength 8. So, but Transhuman is going to wound them on 4s instead of 2s, so this could be massive. Yeah, there you go, saving 2 there. So 1 gets through. Low power is only -2 actually. So this is going to go to a 4-up save on the ones in cover. 4-up. The Imperial Fists 6. The Terran Forge hold firm. We are going to come over to this side of the board where we have the 5 Necron warriors that can shoot the last remaining Melter Brother, and if that doesn't do the job, then we have the Voltaic Staff there. 12-inch range on the Reapers mean that only the first rank is within range of the Eradicator, so we have 6 shots and they hit on 3s. Pretty good. And strength 5 versus toughness 5, so we're going to wound on 4s. So that is 3 at -2 to save on your Eradicator.
So we need 5 ups here. And
wow, is that 3 1s?
That's a lot of 1s.
Jeez, so he actually goes down to the Gauss Fire. So Voltaic Staff not even needed to be employed there.
I think, to be honest, after he lost his 2 brothers, he just totally gave up on life.
Yeah,
he just totally gave up.
Yeah, he rolled a bunch of 1s last turn for his shooting, didn't he? So yeah.
What you see is not what you get for that model, because he's not, in fact, carrying a rifle.
Yeah, apparently not. So I think that might be it for the shooting, because Norris looks like he's out of range here, so we'll measure up just to check. But in the meantime, the Scorpex are going to try a charge on. Actually, it looks about the same distance, so we're going to multi-charge the tank and Captain Arcturusk.
We need to keep this tank alive.
So as the Scorpex make their charge towards the Imperial Fists' home objective, the turret swivels to take aim, and Fire Overwatch is employed. So we'll be rolling a bunch of dice for that in a second. But Chris is also doing a second stratagem, and it is Grav Pulse. So this is for sort of repulsor, floating hover tank type tanks. And so the repulsor field is activated, and I get -2 to my charge, so I'm pushed back by the anti-grav backwash. So we measured it up, it's a 7-inch charge. It would be a 6 with Novok, but going back up to an 8 with this grav pulse. So it's not impossible, but you know, not great odds either. But we'll see how many are left after the Overwatch. So a Firestorm of Overwatch spits forth from the tank into the Scorpex. So we get a few hits, a few wounds, but the Scorpex save means they only take 1 wound. That same Scorpex, having just healed his damage back with living metal, takes a slug in the shoulder once more and is down to 2 wounds again. So it remains to be seen if we can make this 8-inch charge. I think if we can do this, this might be game changing, as getting onto the home objective and denying those cumulative points from the power generator could be big. So 8 inches for the Scorpex. It's an 11. They are in. So the Scorpex are awakened by murder. They have felt the splash of hot blood on their carapace, and they are hungry for more. Caring nothing for the defense of the vault, they only wish to eradicate all life. So we have, the way I'm going to split them up is we have the 2 threshers going into the captain, and the one with the big double-handed blade is just going to bring it down on this gladiator tank. and try to smash through and exterminate the living beings inside. So he's got 5 wounds left, so this is 3 damage each. So if we can get 2 wounds through, this should do it. The Reap Blade first. So hitting on 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s for hardwired for destruction. 2 hits. Okay, so 2 hits through. This tank is toughness 8, and we are strength 7. So we're going to be wounding on 5s. And that is 1 wound through. It is -4 for the Reap Blade. So that is no save, I believe. So
no save.
it is flats 3 damage. So brings the tank down to 2 wounds. So we've got our remaining 8 attacks into Spruce Arcturusk, and
Spruce, I think, knows that this is the appropriate time to activate the
Armor Indomitus.
Armor Indomitus, yeah, for sure. I think he might have lost a dice back there too. So.
He is a smart man. Yes. So 8 dice here, and even if we get these wounds through, it's a 3-up invulnerable save for the Armor Indomitus. So gonna have to get lucky in order to bring this titan of a man down. So hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, and we've got everything through. So that's a good start, and we are strength users, strength 5 versus toughness. Is he still toughness 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3s to wound here.
So blessed be the Emperor. Protect your child
Your false
from the
gods
darkness of the
cannot
Xenos.
protect you now.
All but
1.
one.
So the Space Marine Captain holds firm. Only 1 strike of the flurry of blows getting through, taking off 2 damage, but he holds the line and he readies his power sword to strike down these abominations.
And that's attack with him, and then attack with the crew from the tank.
Yeah, we can't forget the melee powerhouse that is the tank. But who are you starting off with?
We're gonna start off with Spruce. He's pissed. He's got his shield leveled, his armor's on. He's ready
He's
to go.
gonna start hacking down robots.
So he has got 6 attacks now. He's looking for 2s. And there's a couple ones in there, but that's to be expected.
Good news for me.
4 here. This is strength 5 on toughness 5.
That's right.
So looking for 4s. And we get all but 1.
3. Right, so 3 at -3, so we're looking for 6 ups.
Oof.
Ooh, we get 1. So 2 go through at 2 damage each.
2 damage each.
Okay, so that will bring 1 down, and put the other one down to 1 wound remaining. So reanimation on 5 ups, and I can re-roll one of these with my protocol. No, I can't because they're not in range. Never mind. Okay, he stays dead. Down to 2 Scorpex, 1 critically injured, and the tank is going to gun its engines and look to smash 1 underneath its grav plates. 1. No. Unsurprisingly, no damage from the tank, as down to 2 wounds. It's pretty catastrophically damaged at this point, and I'm sure the crew can barely see outside of the fires and the smoke that are raging within the compartment. So yeah, no damage for the tank, and that is the end of the round. I was hoping to get a kill here and consolidate onto that objective, but no dice there for me, so I continue to score 2 points at the end of my turn for holding these 2, and I scored 4 points at the beginning of my turn for holding these, having these 2 stabilized. As I mentioned, it goes up by a point each turn. So if I can hold on to these will be worth 6 points in my next command phase, and likewise for Chris, who controls this side of the battlefield. But that is the Necrons done. It is now over to the Imperial Fists turn 3. Imperial Fists turn 3 movement phase, and we have fallen back with the tank and with Spruce here. I think he was fairly confident that he could take them down in close combat, but by doing so, the tank would probably get torn down as well. And it looks like some shots may come across the field here at the Scorpex from the Terran Forge. So falling back in the Imperial Fist way and letting the bolters do the talking. So yeah, falling back here, we spent your command point for fall back and shoot.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the stratagem, but
Grav Pulse, the same one as the affects the charge.
Oh really?
It's a double duty one.
Oh, there you go. One strat, two uses. So the gladiator falls back and can shoot at its normal ballistic skill, which now it's down to 2 wounds. Is that on 5s now?
I think it's 5s, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty degraded. Targeting optics smashed and barely functional. But the sheer volume of shots we can spit out from this tank means that statistically some should get through. So yeah, Scorpix may be in a little bit of trouble this turn. Speaking of, I will preemptively spend 1 command point for Whirling Onslaught. So this gives them -1 to wound. They're just spinning blades, just deflecting bolter shells. Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah, so we need the full force here.
Yeah, so over here the Terran Forge continue their advance along this flank, shoring up objective 3 here. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Nevo Moranius eyes his foe from across the barricade. Overlord Asarak is a dangerous enemy indeed, but the Lieutenant needs to take this threat off the field, and he is going to charge in for glory for the Emperor. So just a quick update on scores here. You probably can't make sense of my writing, but the way it stands at the end of the last round, I was on 4 points and Chris was on 6, thanks to dropping his lieutenant down first turn and securing that second power generator. So if the game continues at the stalemate with me holding 2 on my side, Chris holding 2 on his side, Chris is going to come out ahead by 2 points thanks to this lead here. So in my turn, I held 2 power generators, scoring me 2, and I have stabilised them, so that scores me 2 points each for this round, giving me 6, bringing me to a total of 10. And now we're on to Chris's turn. He also gets those 4 points from holding, from destabilising the 2 power generators on his side, and it looks like he can score another 2 points at the end of his turn for here as well. So yeah, Chris, looks like Chris will be on 12, I will be on 10. Imperial Fists still hold the lead by a whisker. So the Terran Forge, the auto bolt rifle intercessors into the Scorpex. Chris has got his
27 shots.
27 shots. So no command points left for rapid fire this turn. So
we're still soaking up a lot of reroll action here.
Yeah, they have their native reroll 1s because of their battle honor, and reroll 1s to wound from the lieutenant. Although we dropped a couple of shots, we got exploding hits from reroll 1s, so Chris ended up with the exact number of hits as he had shots. So this is a big old pool going into the wound roll. They are toughness 5 versus strength 4, toughness 5, but because they have their -1 to wound strat, they'll be only wounding on 6s.
Okay, so you need lots of 6s.
So we got 30 odd dice here, I think. So we should
there's
get
1.
Oh, only 1 6. Okay, I see a few 5s in there. So that Whirling Onslaught strat definitely paid off. And re-rolling those 1s to get 2 wounds through. We're staying in tactical doctrine here, so these will be at -1. So I have 2 4-up saves to make. However, 1 is on 1 wound left. So I need 1 of these to go through to remove him from the field. And that fails, because -1 means 4-up save. So the Thresher Scorpec falls. We get to roll reanimation for him. I don't think have I ever got any one of these back on reanimation? Oh, there it is though. 2 6s and a 5. Bring that Scorpec straight back to life. He falls in a crumpled heap on the floor, but the Eldritch energies reattach his limbs. The living metal flows into the bullet holes, and he stands back up at 4 wounds, ready to continue his kill tally. So, decent shooting by the Terran Forge, but the Necrons' foul reanimation undoes their shooting. He actually did me a favour there, because he's basically healed 2 wounds.
Alright, well, I guess
Foul Xenos, hey.
Reaper's going to have to put everything into them then. I guess he was not planning to have to target them at all, but
Okay, point blank.
Looks like he has to do it after all. So I need 5s here.
5 to hit.
A couple exploders.
This is on the Tempests.
We need 6s here again, I think.
Yeah, there's strength 4, toughness 5, and
There's 1.
-1 to wound. And this will be
-1 still, just from the profile.
Yep, -1. So 4 ups, and he makes his armor save.
Fine.
Twin onslaught Gatling.
Let's get lots of 5s and 6s here.
That is an impressive amount of 5s and 6s for
Easy.
the onslaught Gatling cannon. So it would be wounding on 3s, but with the strat it's now wounding on 4s.
Okay, let's get a lot of 4s here, guys.
So 5 through at these. This is -1.
Yeah.
So well, maybe this recently reanimated one is just going to go straight back down again. So saves on the Scorpex of 4 up. We actually make all of them. It's a 5 under the gladiator there, apart from 1. So oh no, we've got a 3. So 2 wounds
Wow.
stripped off. So he's pretty much right back where he started at 1 wound. A net result of 0 there against the Scorpex. Whirling Onslaught, keeping them safe from a majority of this fire as they weather the storm.
It was like 100 shots that they survived.
It was a lot. That's quite impressive. Spruce fell back, he cannot shoot. We have a pistol shot over on the lieutenant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And,
2 of them into the.
So he can put them at Acerak because he is now the closest enemy model.
So they've both connected. Strength 5.
Toughness 5.
Nope, no dice.
Nope. Okay. Lieutenant Navo Moran is charging in to the Xenos commander. Whew. He is out for glory. I would say out for blood, but he has no blood. He has a vendetta to pursue against this overlord and will not rest until he sees his shattered husk lying on the floor of his own vault. So the lieutenant is in. Terran Forge are also looking to assist, and it looks like we need a 7, did we say?
Yeah.
And that is a 7 exactly. The Terran Forge join their commander in glorious battle. And suddenly Overlord Acerak has a lot of yellow vermin to contend with. So clarification, Chris was charging the Doomsday Ark, not Acerak. So they've remained outside of 1 inch, but I am going to do Overwatch. So we're going to unleash the Gauss Flayers. So leading off with Lieutenant Navo Moranius, he has 4 attacks +1 for Shock Assault, +1 for Imperium Sword Warlord trait. So 6 attacks.
Bit of a glass cannon here. Let's see what happens.
Winning on 3s in strength 5. Overlord Acerak's in 4 up invulnerable save, which he makes 2 of, and 1 gets through. It's 2 damage?
2 damage.
2 damage,
In
okay.
brackets.
But yeah, with his Enduring Will Warlord trait, he reduces that down to 1. So you've scored a deep groove across his breastplate, but I fear you've only made him angry.
They're 3s and re-rolling 1s.
So the intercessors begin tearing at the Doomsday Ark, looking to rip out its fragile structure here, but Necron tech is tougher than it looks. So this is going to be wounding on 5. 6 wounds get through, and this is just the AP0 because we are not in the Assault Doctrine yet.
Yeah.
We're stuck in Stayed Tactical for this one. So 3 up saves on the Doomsday Ark, and 2 get through. So some damage done to its hull, but still very much at full operational power. And it can fight back. It probably won't do much, so it probably won't even film it. But next turn, we can definitely shoot those Gauss Flayers into combat. Before I do that, I'm going to lead off with Overlord Acerak. So he has his Hyperphase Glaive, and we're going to put all our attacks into the Lieutenant here. He hits on 2s, and everything hits. So his Hyperphase Glaive is Strength +2, so that puts him up to Strength 7 versus Toughness 4 on the Lieutenant. So, oof, that's not great. That's only 1 wound through. But because of his Artificer weapon, that does deal a mortal wound in addition. So it is... Has he got an invulnerable save?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's got 1 mortal wound off him, and he's got to make a 4-up invulnerable save, which he fails. And this is D3 damage for 1. So over on Objective 3, the combat is in full swing. The 2 commanders battle it out in a duel while the valiant troops of the Imperial Fists go against the heavy support of the Necrons. So 1 wound taken off Acerak, which he's going to heal at the start of next turn with Living Metal, so we haven't even put the dice down, but Lieutenant Moranius is down to 2 wounds, so can he stay another round with the Overlord? How many wounds did he start with?
5.
Yeah, so he should be on 3.
Whew! Could make all the difference in the world.
Correction, Lieutenant's on 3 wounds, not 2. And yeah, Chris scores 2 more points for holding these 2 objectives at the end of this turn. As I mentioned before, we are at a bit of a deadlock points-wise with Chris having the advantage, so I need to force a point swing on these final 2 turns of the game to stabilize one of these power generators and bring this rampaging Catan back under control. Speaking of, it's the start of round 4 now, so we're going to see what the Catan does as it slips more of its bindings. This broken piece of a god lashes out in anger as its prison slowly begins to fall away. And we roll a 2, which is times arrow. This could be an interesting one. So we're going to pick a random model. We're going to roll a d6. And if that dice roll equals or exceeds the wounds characteristic, that model is just destroyed, as it is rapidly aged and raised from time itself. So we measured up, and within 18 inches of the centre is pretty much everyone, it turns out. The only exceptions being the Lieutenant on this edge, and Onaris over here on that edge. Everyone else we're going to roll a d6 for, and the lowest score is going to take the results of this Catan power. So going around the table, we rolled a dice for each unit, and the 2 lowest scoring ones were the Terran Forge with a roll of 1, and the Scorpex with a roll of a 1. So we're going to do another roll off, and the lowest score here will take the wound. And Scorpex get a 6 and Terran Forge get a 2, so the Catan power is going to...
This guy's got 1 wound left, so it's impossible not to kill him.
It's wounds characteristic, so on a roll of a 1 he'll be fine, but on a 2+, yeah, so 1 model is erased from time itself. So could have been worse there, you know, 1 already wounded intercessor off the table. We still have another turn of the Catan's Wrath to go. Necron command phase, and we returned 3 Necron warriors to the field with rites of reanimation, although they are out of range of anything to shoot at with their Gauss Reapers, so it looks like for the rest of the game they are just going to be holding down that point. Plasmancer Irazar continued his slow but consistent move around the board, coming around the corner here and looking like he can actually put some shots into the tank. We have Onaris there also just moving forward a bit to get him into range, so the Voltaic Staff can do it if somehow Irazar cannot remove these last 2 wounds off the tank. The Scorpex moved their 8 inches forward and are going to fight the Space Marine Captain for control of this power generator. So I need to have those 2 still alive at the end of the turn in order to control this. So if he manages to cut one down, it'll just be contested. I won't score the points, and Chris won't lose his destabilization thing. So it's rather dependent on the Scorpex surviving this fight and hopefully killing the captain. He's on 7 wounds left, so might be a tall order, but we'll see how the dice shake out. Over on the other side of the board, nothing much happened. The Doomsday Ark is staying in combat so it can shoot its flayers, and Overlord Acerak is continuing his duel with the Lieutenant. So we'll do some shooting over here, but first we're going to do the Harbinger of Destruction with the Plasmancer. And closest visible is the tank. So on the 4+, it suffers a mortal wound, and that is 2 mortal wounds. His last 2 wounds gone. So the tank is out of here. Would you like the kaboom dice?
Kaboom!
To see if it blows up on a 6. No, it's a 3. So the tank just succumbs to the various holes and fires riddling its hull, and just shuts down its wreck, now no longer taking any more part in the battle. No more shooting over here because we're out of range, so it is the Doomsday Arc in melee. We can't use the Doomsday Cannon because it is blast, but we are certainly going to open up with the flares, see if we can chip a few more of these bodies away. So at point blank range, the Doomsday Arc kicked out its Gauss flares into the intercessors. We got quite a few wounds through with a wound roll of 6, and because we are now in the protocol of the Vengeful Stars, those wound rolls of 6 dealt additional AP. So saves of -2 were tricky, and we managed to kill 2 intercessors and wound another. So fairly decent shooting over there, but that's still a troops unit controlling that objective. So the duel will continue momentarily, but over here the Scorpex made their extremely short charge and are getting into Overlord Acererak. Not Acererak. That's my commander. This is Brother Captain Spruce Arcturusk holding the line once more. We're going to go with the Threshers first. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s for hardwired angriness. So 4 hits, and they are strength 5 versus toughness 4, so 3s to wound. That's some wounds through there, Mr. Chris. And this is AP -4 because we're Novok.
4 up invuln save.
So we've got invuln saves.
No, he's probably dead.
That's 3 through at 2 damage each. So you are down to 1 wound remaining.
He's going to just feel no pains, which I forgot to do.
Oh yeah,
time.
6 ups makes 1. So down to 2 wounds remaining. But now we have the Reap Blade coming in. So this has 3 attacks, and this is 3 damage each. So I only need 1 of these to make it past your invulnerable save, and your captain will have fallen once more. 3s to hit. Strength 7, so 3s to wound. That is 3 wounds at -5, but are we going to make our 4 invulnerable saves? That is
Nope.
2 1s.
So how many wounds would that be to save?
6.
Well, it's not impossible. Yep.
So we reduce that to 5, but that is more than the 2 he's got. And the Scorpec Destroyers add another to their kill tally. The honoured captain of the Imperial Fists falls in the defence of the home objective, which means the destabilization now goes away because I control that objective. And I score an additional point here at the end of my turn.
You don't have to do an action to destabilize it?
No, so I'm getting 1 point at the end of my turn just for controlling it. And if I want the bonus points, I'll have to do the action to put my token on it. So successful over here on objective 2. With the Scorpex reaping their bloody tally and consolidating this flank. So it is the last corner, the last holdout of the Imperial Fists over here, where we are going to fight with the Lieutenant first because we are into ongoing fights. Coming over here to get a better shot of dice.
Nope.
Wow, okay, so that was 3 hits through, but 1s and 2s for the wound roll. Acererak will now take his swing at the Lieutenant. He hits on 2s. And he wounds on 3s. And these Artificer weapons, so that's 2 mortal wounds in addition, and 2 failed saves. So yes, that is the Lieutenant brought low. He made a valiant charge, but the commander of the Xenos was ultimately too much. He is Acererak the Undying. He does not die, and you will suffer no trespass upon what is rightfully his. We'll have some ongoing fighting here with the Doomsday Arc and the Intercessors, but it probably won't come to much either way. but we'll roll that and we'll come back in the Imperial Fists turn 4. So as the lieutenant falls, Chris is left with just the remnants of the Terran Forge here, left to contest the whole battlefield, which we both agree is a pretty tall order, and with the Scorpix now holding this objective, able to stabilize it next turn if they wished, it looks like this is going to be a victory for the Necrons, as the valiant last stand of the Space Marines is once again pushed back, and the Necrons take control of their prize. So it's a good game, man.
Good game, yeah.
Yeah, it's
bit of a sore one again, but
it was it was touch and go in the middle there for a few turns, as the scoring was neck and neck, but making that charge with the Scorpix, I think, was decisive. It got them across and into combat, and for this objective, although this one maybe could have been held on with virtue of having troops there, I think this one, once this one was lost, it became a 3 versus 1 fight, and would have gone downhill from there. But well fought. It was a fun game. But only thing that remains now is we're going to do some out of action rolls, or we might save that till the next time because we're a bit pushed on time. But as for the Necrons prize, as the Necrons take control of the facility, the power is wound down in a controlled manner, and the Catan is released from its cage and is able to be instantly shackled by the 2 cryptechs, who bind it to their will, and now the Necrons have a powerful destructive force in their arsenal. As the Necrons acquire their prize, there is one last trick left in the Space Marines' arsenal. Captain Arcturusk is not quite dead, his superior physiology keeping him on the brink of life as he crawls bloody and broken back to the portal. As the warriors close in and riddle him with Gauss fire, his last remaining act is to set melter charges upon the portal. He knows the battle here is lost, but if he can buy the Marines on the surface some precious time by trapping the Necrons down here, then he will do all he can in defense of this world. As the last of his breath leaves his body, he collapses back through the portal as the charges explode. The Necrons have their prize, but in this last defiant act by the Space Marines, they find they are now trapped in the depths of this world with no easy escape. The technological prowess of the Cryptechs means they will inevitably find their way back to the surface, but this buys valuable time for the defenders on the surface to dig in and further reinforce against the return of the Necrons. That is the end of another hard-fought battle on Achillon. So another victory for the Necrons, as it increasingly looks like doom is coming to this world. But as the Necrons look through the data logs of this facility, they find a reference amongst the other data and notes, an important notice left by another cryptech that reads, "It is imperative that Subject Alpha does not come into contact with Subject Omega. If these two shall meet, it will surely spell dire consequences for the Empire." So that's a cryptic message left by another cryptech, cryptically, in Vault Alpha. So there may be more to discover here on Achillon than just this Catan shard. We shall have to see. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, guys. We really appreciate you tuning in and joining us on this glorious crusade as we pit the bold here defenders of the Imperium against my awesome Xenos. I mean the vile Xenos. Thanks once again for coming down to play, Chris. It's always a pleasure to have you here and roll some dice. And yeah, we're going to get back to the surface and we'll continue our crusade next time. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye,
Till
Chris.
then.
Till then. Dramatic pose.